Nobody wanted the Calico. Not the family who saw her photo online and never called back. Not the couple who held her for 10 minutes, handed her back, and said she was too much. Not the woman who returned her after 4 days, claiming she was difficult. Not the shelter volunteer who quietly stopped putting her in the adoption photos because she was tired of explaining why this one kept coming back. 3 times. She had been returned 3 times, and every single person who gave her back used the same word: difficult. She sat in that small cage and watched strangers walk past. Some slowed down, some tapped the glass, some made that sound people make when they feel sorry for something. And she looked at every single one of them with those sharp green eyes, like she already knew, like she could tell the difference between someone who meant it and someone who just felt guilty walking past her door. She was not going to beg for it. She was not going to perform. She was not going to make herself smaller to make someone else more comfortable. If you have ever looked at something everybody else called broken and thought, wait, I think they're wrong, then you need to stay for what happened the morning Marcus walked through that shelter door. Stories like this are exactly why this channel exists. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now. There is so much more where this came from. Marcus was not looking for a cat. He was not even sure why he walked in that day. He had been having one of those weeks where everything costs more than it should. Not just money, but energy, attention, patience. His sister had dragged him along, said it would be good for him to get out. He figured he would stand near the wall, look at a few animals, go home feeling slightly better about the world. He was doing exactly that when he stopped. There was a calico in the 3rd cage from the end, brown and black stripes running across her back, a bright orange patch sitting over one eye like a flame, a white chest so clean she looked like she was dressed for something formal. Her paws were tucked neatly underneath her. Her tail was still. She looked like she had been waiting there for exactly as long as she needed to. Not 1 minute more, not 1 minute less. She wasn't crying, wasn't pawing at the door, wasn't doing any of the things shelter cats do when they want you to notice them. She was just sitting there, completely still, watching him the way you watch someone when you have already decided something about them. He leaned in closer. She didn't flinch, didn't look away. The shelter worker nearby said it casually, the way you say something you have said too many times before. That one's been returned 3 times. Beautiful cat, but she's got a real attitude. Most people find her a little too difficult. Marcus looked at her again. She was still watching him, not desperate, not aggressive, just steady, like she had done this before, and she already knew exactly how it ended. His sister appeared at his shoulder. "You want that one, don't you?" He didn't answer. He went to find a shelter worker. The adoption counselor went through the files slowly. Returned in October, returned again in January, returned a 3rd time in March. Each form had the same checkbox ticked: behavioral issues. Each form had the same handwritten note: different handwriting, same conclusion. Too difficult, too independent, doesn't warm up fast enough. The counselor looked up at Marcus like she was giving him one last chance to change his mind. Marcus signed the papers anyway. The car ride home was quiet. Nala sat in the carrier on the back seat and said absolutely nothing. No crying, no scratching, no drama. Just silence and those green eyes catching the streetlights every time they passed a lamp. He set the carrier down in the living room and opened the door. She walked out slowly, looked left, looked right, walked to the center of the room and sat down like she was taking a full inventory of everything she now considered hers. Then she looked at Marcus. He crouched down on the floor, held out one hand, and waited. Nala walked toward him. Not fast, not cute about it, just direct, the way you move towards something you have already decided on. She sniffed his fingers once. Then she wrapped both front paws around his hand, pulled it toward her chest, and held on. She didn't purr right away. She just held his hand, firm, deliberate, like she was making a point that did not need explaining. Marcus sat on that floor for a long time. He wasn't sure what to call what he was feeling. It wasn't excitement.
It wasn't even warmth exactly. It was more like something finally settling into place, like a door that had been slightly open for too long, clicking quietly shut. Some stories are too good to keep to yourself. If this is landing somewhere real for you, you are not alone. The people who called her difficult were not lying. Nala had opinions, strong ones. She had a schedule, a preferred side of the couch, a morning spot on the bathroom windowsill between 6 and 7 that was non-negotiable. She had places she wanted to be and places she absolutely did not, and she communicated both with complete confidence. She claimed the left arm of the sofa on the first evening. She claimed Marcus's left arm every night after that, wrapping herself around it with the quiet determination of someone protecting something valuable. She never asked for permission. She never needed reassurance. What she needed, the only thing she had ever needed, was someone who was not going to hand her back. 6 months later, Marcus's sister asked him what made him different, what made him the one when 3 others had walked away. He was quiet for a moment. "I think they wanted a cat that was easy," he said. "I wasn't looking for anything specific, so when she looked at me, I didn't feel like I was being tested. I just felt seen." Nala was lying across his arm when he said it, one paw resting on his forearm, eyes half closed, completely still. She didn't look up. She already knew it. Here is what nobody tells you about the cats that come back. They are not broken. They are not damaged. They are not difficult. They are specific. They know exactly what they need, and they have learned the hard way, more than once, that pretending to be easier only gets you returned to the same small cage. They have been patient longer than most people realize. They have watched more doors close than you would want to count. Nala didn't grab Marcus's hand because she was desperate. She grabbed it because she recognized something real, something that had nothing to do with luck or timing. Because after 3 wrong fits, she finally felt a right one, and she was not going to be polite about it. She was going to hold on and not let go. If you're thinking about adopting, remember this. The file that says returned does not mean broken. It means they've been handed to the wrong person. Somewhere out there is the right one. Sometimes, without even knowing it, that person is you. And sometimes, all it takes is one person who doesn't walk away. Would you have taken Nala home after reading "returned 3 times" on that folder? Or would that note have been enough to make you walk past her cage? Tell me in the comments below. I want to hear your honest answer.